Hello, and welcome to Twin Peaking, where I showed my friend Jay my personal list of worst to best episodes of Twin Peaks, and she sees if she can figure out what the show is. If you're liking the show, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and tell anyone you think might be interested. Also, please make sure to go follow my friend Jay at twitch.tv/JanuaryK. That's January K-A-Y. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hey Jay, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Mac?
Doing all right. That's a lie. I've been depressed. But I don't think you're allowed to say that at the top of an episode.
I mean, you know what? We're not fake. We're like real people with real problems, and so we're bringing the real to the podcast realm. So I feel like saying that is okay in my book.
Sure. Yeah, no, 100%. How are you doing? You're good?
I am good. I'm excited to watch this episode. So
yeah,
I'm hyped up.
After this episode, the number of episodes you've seen or haven't seen on season 2 can be counted on one hand.
Yeah.
Right now we're about to go from 6 down to 5 on what's left of season 2. I know.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
I know, very exciting stuff. So you've seen both sides of this episode, but like, there's been a lot of stuff in between there. Like, where? Any thoughts, expectations for what this will show?
Well, I think we're gonna see our friend Wyndham Earl back.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Seeing that I've seen like other episodes from season 1 and season 3 at this point, so not sure how I feel, but I'm more so excited to wrap this arc up soon. Well, soon is relative. We'll see.
Yeah. After this episode, like, you're kind of like, because of where I put the last episode, like, I'm not going to say the number, but I think people who know the show know that it's rated pretty highly.
Right.
Yeah, this is like the final piece of that really for you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but yeah, any expectations for why it's so high compared to the rest of that season?
I want to say like it's finally a climax of a couple different things. I'm looking at the notes of the chronological episode previous to this one, and I judge it based off how much notes I take, and I took like three full columns of notes in that episode, and so I feel like it's going to be. I hope everyone makes an appearance, because it seems like everyone made an appearance on the last episode, and so this episode I imagine will be similar, and I think a lot of people like that kind of deal. So
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last episode chronologically ended with Sam Raimi's brother getting murdered, and in the chess piece. Yes.
In the chess piece. Yes.
Yeah, and then there's a blank spot, and then suddenly we're at Miss Twin Peaks, and she gets kidnapped.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Okay, good. So yeah, we're gonna find out what connects those dots here.
Yay! Okay.
Yeah. So did you watch any of the Log Lady intros?
I actually did watch Log Lady episodes. I didn't watch too many of them. I watched not most, like the big chunk of season 2 that we started with.
Yes.
I watched those ones, and she is very okay. I like how the Log Lady is presented in those compared to how she's presented in the show. And even though it's like the same, it's like the same character, but like, I don't know, she suits the beginning, like those pre-rolls better than her. I don't really like her character in the show, because like I don't know. There's something about her character in the show that, like, I feel like if I met her in real life, she pisses me off. And so that's why it's like, oh, like it makes more sense to have her at the beginning. So I actually quite enjoyed watching those. I think I watched 5 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember which ones I watched, but it was the big chunk that we saw
Yes.
at the big chunk at the beginning of this project. Yeah.
I think, to be fair, those are some of the best ones because the show is at its worst. Because, like, like if you remember, like, they are kind of like a metatextual thing of like David Lynch kind of critiquing where the show's at and what happened after what we saw, actually, after like the reveals and all of that, and like it kind of comes out in those of like in some of the earlier ones. It can kind of be like, well, we're still playing into the mystique because people may not know. But like after the reveal, it's like, see, isn't this worse? Is this what you wanted? And there's like that vibe to it of like critiquing where the show's at, that like before it was like leaning into it. Now it's like, no, this is like, are you happy about this? This is your guys' fault a little bit, which I think makes it good. It makes it like fun and interactive and in an interesting way.
Right.
Yeah. So like if you're gonna start somewhere, that's a good place to start for the Long Lady intros. For sure. I do like all of them, even the ones where they're like mystique or whatever, because like I agree with you. I think that like they start off the show in a good, strong way. Right. As like an episode intro.
Right.
And so that said, I do like her character because like I think there's a version of this type of character that we see in TV shows where it's like they're mystical and whatever, and so they're like kind of detached from reality. What we've seen from her, she's not. She's very much kind of like this asshole in life who just happens to have additional knowledge like on top of that. And I think that makes her interesting. Like I think the worst thing a character can be is boring.
That's fair.
And so I'd rather have someone be interesting, even if you're like, oh, this fucking person. Like, I think that's a better reaction than like, I don't care about this.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, not to bring up a completely different show, but like, I think that's the problem with Nathan and Ted Lasso, which I just recently saw, is like, after they do some stuff with this character and he goes through this arc or whatever, he just ends up boring.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, well, that is worse than anything else you could do with the characters to make them boring. I see. Right. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But let's get on into it. I just remembered to finally ask you if you had watched some of those, because I think last time we ended off, or like a couple of episodes ago, you were like, yeah, I think I'm finally going to do that, because there was it was like during the season 3 one where you kind of started to turn around on her a little bit.
Yes.
Because you like the relationship between her and Hawk, and so you're like, all right, maybe I'll go back and watch some of those. And so I wanted to see where you're at with that. All right.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So let's get going.
Okay. I'm gonna eat my breakfast sandwich while we watch this now.
Yeah, like now that it's playing, I immediately grab my phone. I'm gonna be taking notes too, but like I'm like, shit, I kind of wanted to eat too, and I forgot to order food, so I'm like, cool. Now that this is on and we're cutting this all out, like I'm like, cool. As a reason it's black.
Yeah, where's Laura Palmer's face?
The video player is glitching out. Not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like it freezes. Back here. Okay. Whatever.
Okay,
I do need to double check something real quick. But it is sad. It does feel weirdly sad to not get Laura Palmer's face.
Yeah, right?
Okay. Yep. I wanted to know who directed this episode and make sure I got it right. Okay. Yeah. So, hi. How was that? So that was Twin Peaks season 2, episode 20, The Path to the Black Lodge.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What did you think overall?
Oh, I thought it was a good episode. I quite enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really like this
good.
episode.
Yeah.
It really stands out in like the wave of like other episodes, especially when you consider what's surrounding it. You're like, oh, this is like peak Twin Peaks level of good. I really like this episode. For my money, it has the best horror sequence in the show, and it's not what you expect it to be.
Okay.
But yeah, all of it's amazing. I had to go back to double check the director, who is Stephen Gyllenhaal, who I think is part of the Gyllenhaal like dynasty of like movie people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And holy shit. there's a lot of camera stuff we'll talk about here. But no, I'm glad you liked it, because like I don't know if this episode affects other people like it does me. So like I hope we'll get into it, but like so you liked it. Any other thoughts on it, or do you want to get into it? Like just broad thoughts.
Broad thoughts. I liked the episode quite a bit. My note taking in this episode was a lot more not as detailed, but that's just because I think I know the surrounding episodes on both sides.
Right.
But let's get into it. Let's get into it. There's a couple scenes I do want to talk about. So
yeah. Alrighty. So not me needing to get back to the notes app, because like I was like, oh, let me check and make sure my food's not sitting outside. Okay, so we open up with the face of Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi's brother, and the where he was murdered last we left off, and they're like trying to get his puzzle piece out of there, and so they have to like tilt the thing back and forth like to get it on its side to get it out of the pagoda. Where you and I were wondering, is this considered disrespectful to the murder victim? Like
in the real world, like if this murder happened in real life, I do think that they would take steps, because they have to cut him out of it, right? And so like I do think there has to be a certain way to cut him out of it, like so they don't lose evidence. So they probably have to lay out like a sheet to cut him out.
Right, yeah.
But like I imagine that's what they did in Twin Peaks, but because it's Twin Peaks, it plays into the comedy of it, right? And so like the episode starts with like looking at the dead kid's face and them rocking it back and forth. And so I'm like when that scene happened, I was like laughing, but like I think it is a little disrespectful, but it's supposed to be disrespectful, kind of deal. Like they want
this is
to,
like the Twin Peaks thing of like there's like a comedy to it, sure, but then like immediately after that we get interviewed the friend, and he's like, yeah, we were groupies or like we're roadies trying to make it. We were gonna move to Las Vegas or to LA together, and you know, like this guy just came and offered us beer, and like a guy's like broken up about it, and Andy's there crying about this dead kid, and you find out like he had like a rough relationship with his parents, and like they need to contact the uncle, and it's like that juxtaposition of like, oh, there is a level of like maybe comedy, but like humor to dark situations, but then it is like, but here's also what was lost, right? And it's both things.
Yeah. So is it I thought it was a very striking opening scene.
Yes.
Seeing his face. I thought it was good to set the tone of the episode.
Yeah. So. That said, Ted Raimi dying face is comedy in and of itself. There's a reason why he's one of the kings of B horror, right? Like, yeah. It's It's very choice.
Yes.
But yeah, so they find out about the kid and take him away. And then we go back to the police department, where everyone says hi to Lucy, and then Lucy stops Andy to declare D-Day.
D-Day, Dad Day.
Dad Day. The same day as Miss Twin Peaks. And she's like, we're gonna need help, so help me with my speech about saving the environment. At which point Eddie's like, well, I know you're not supposed to throw beer bottles in the lake, and styrofoam lasts as long as you'll live, or whatever. And it's like, yeah.
I have a question about this scene, actually.
Yes, please.
Because I wasn't sure. I can't remember if it was addressed in the last episode, like chronologically before this, or if I'm not supposed to know. And Lucy says, that to Harry and to Coop, like, oh, Hawk's in the boardroom with someone, I don't recognize him. Who is that someone? That it was like, who was it? Or am I not supposed to know that?
And that they seemed upset. Wasn't that the kid that they were talking to before? Didn't they take him in to talk to him? That's what I assumed.
I don't know, because Hawk wasn't in
that's true.
the
Hawk
beginning
wasn't there.
scene. So that's why I was like, who is supposed to be that someone? Because we don't see them. So that was like, I was like, I don't know who that's supposed to be, if it's supposed to be someone. So
no, I can't remember, so I guess that gives you an answer.
maybe it's not
in
important.
And of itself. Yeah. Now,
Okay.
You caught me flat-footed here. I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, "Don't you remember the episode before this where XYZ thing happens?" And I'm gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that's it." But like, I don't have the notes for 19. I don't right now, and I haven't edited that one as far as I'm aware. Like, I think that's actually like about to come up.
That is about to come up,
my
yes.
editing. Yeah, and so it's like
We are so ahead.
Yeah, I haven't had the refreshing. Yeah, we managed to pull very far ahead. But that's because we've had other technical issues getting in the way, and then every time we have canceled a recording, something else has come up to not release that episode either. So we've never gone into the backlog.
Okay, but I guess that is to be whatever announced.
Yes.
Okay.
When I get to that episode, if I remember, I'll message you about it, and we'll remember to bring it up in a future episode. If you never hear about this plot point again, think of it like
it
this plot
matter.
point is. Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. Perfect.
No, but you mentioning that, like, that caught my attention too, and I was like thinking of like trying to remember what that could be and what it would pop up as, and like nothing struck me, and then like I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll find out throughout the episode. Did it happen?
And it never
so
happened.
like I was like, okay, I never caught that before, really.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Well then.
Maybe
that's
just
okay.
showing that other things are happening in the town as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because a lot of stuff happens in town today.
It does, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened in town today.
Yeah. Is there anything else about Lucy and Andy, or are we good?
I think we're good. I'm ready to. I'm ready to
it's
go.
a fun little scene. That's
is.
pretty much
It's
it.
cute.
Is also like preparing us that like this plot line's about to come to an end, as well as like talking about the environment and showing that like we already know who it's going to be. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, so John Justice Wheeler, as he shows up, you're like, John Justice Wheeler! You were so excited for this character we both hate. Like, it's so funny. Like,
It's funny. His name is so iconic. Like,
Yes.
I often forget like Pete's name, even though I know his face and I know his character. I forget his name often, and so like I even forgot like Lana's name like earlier, and I've seen her like multiple times. John Justice, like it's such an iconic like John
so
Justice
much.
Wheeler.
They keep
like,
trying to call him Jack, and like I've never called him that once in my life. He's always John Justice Wheeler. Like
It's
full
John Justice
name.
Wheeler.
Yeah.
the full government name.
Yeah, 100%. Like when you accidentally waste a really good name on a nothing character, like Right? Like we're both creative types. Like I'm sure you get it of being like, oh yeah, like here's this name, and then you use it on them, and then you're like, oh, this isn't going to, like, I wasted this really good name on this person. Like, yeah, but he's at the hotel looking for Audrey and about to check out and starts to check out, where then we go to Ben having his physical.
Yes,
from
Dr. Hayward. Yes,
Dr. Hayward. Yes. And Ben's looking good with his shirt off, and the doc's like, yeah, you're fine, but like, what the fuck are you doing, man? And he's like, hey, trust me, I'm trying to be good. And it's like, I believe that you're trying, but it's like good. I think his exact line is like, but goodness in you is a time bomb. And it's like,
yes,
yeah. Which is rough, like, for a person who does want to change and become good, to hear like, you're just a destructive person no matter what you do, right? And maybe because of what you've already done, you'll always be destructive, because that will just echo throughout your life, which sucks. And like, if you're a person like that and trying to become better, like keep trying and keep doing what you have to do to become a better person, because you can't just give up. But that is tough, right?
Yes. One thing that I noticed, like, especially you talking about it, there's a lot of reflection in Ben Horne's like change to be a good person versus Hank earlier in the season, because like Hank also, like, he tries to portray the same arc of like, I just got out of jail, I'm supporting my wife at the diner, I'm trying to be a good person. And even Hank himself says like, there's people around me that are trying to pull me down, right? But obviously we know that Hank isn't a good person. Like, he's just using that as a front to
Hank's saying the right words, but not putting in the action to actually do better.
Exactly.
While Ben is like trying to do better, but like doesn't know how. And it's like, you're absolutely right. It's really interesting to see that juxtaposed, for sure. Yeah.
It's a cool, interesting reflection of like essentially two characters that are using the same quote unquote reasoning, but for different reasons, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought that was like, I made that connection during that scene of Ben with Dr. Hayward, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, like I've heard this before. This is Hank, but Hank ended up being a very bad guy in the end. And so I thought that was it like, that's happened a couple times during this project, where reflections of things that we've watched have come up in other episodes. Like that happened. We watched two episodes that were back to back. I think it was season 1, episode 7, and season 2. I think I can't remember which season 2 episode it was, but like they reflected each other very strongly, and especially after we watched them back to back. And like I've been getting echoes of certain themes that have come up like as we've watched this show, and like this just like kind of solidified of like, it's like another echo, like it repeats it. Like, I don't know, I just thought that was when I connected that, I was like, this is a very well written show. It's very good. And so I was very happy when I made that connection with Ben. So
yeah, because I've never really thought of it that way. Like, I've never made that connection before, but you're absolutely right. And it is really interesting to like show, because like the show is about like the men or like the evil that men do, particularly to women. And like, it is interesting to see like the different ways that like each individual man handles that, especially like the ones who were guilty of that type of thing, and like the different ways they can go about it, and what that looks like. No, 100%. I think that's really interesting. So Ben's there, and then as the dog leaves, John comes in, Justice Wheeler, and he says bye to Ben, letting him know that like I mean, this scene cuts off, right? It has two separate segments of it.
Yes.
Let me double check.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he comes in and says like, a partner, like a friend, no more than a friend, a partner, and someone I did deeply trust, like, was just murdered.
Right.
In Brazil. And so I need to go. And then it cuts away from there. But
yes.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that? He puts such an emphasis on like, oh, it's like this very important person to me, and like, but like makes it seem like it sets up something, I guess, you know, like it's like,
yeah,
it treats it like a big moment.
I like my first thought, like, okay, my like. How do I explain my feelings towards John Justice Wheeler? He is kind of like I know he's supposed to be Audrey's second half, like kind of deal, like her partner, replacement of Coop kind of deal. Like I understand that like he's supposed to be like this guy that basically sweeps Audrey off of her feet, blah 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 blah. I got the vibes of like, I don't know if I'm not reading into it correctly, but the vibes I got were like his former lover died in Brazil or something, and he needed to go back there to like deal with it, kind of deal, and deal with his own grief in that way. That's why he had to leave right away. And so I felt a certain way of how, especially in the last scene with Audrey, and I'll bring it up here. We won't talk about it in full because I want to talk about Pete in that scene. But when he leaves on the plane and Audrey's left and she's like, "I'm a virgin, take my virginity," and like he does, and then he leaves, and then just like. That screams of like a douchebag guy. You know what I mean? Like I don't like that, and so that's why that strengthened that feeling of like, is he going to go deal with like an ex-lover kind of deal in Brazil? And like he doesn't know what he wants. He promises that he'll be back, but he doesn't keep that promise. Like it's kind of douchebaggy behavior kind of guy. And so
I think there's a version of it where like either she's older or he's younger, and it feels like, oh, we're just making this memory, but know that it can't be a thing, and so it's just a moment for us, right? Like there's a version of that where it's like if she were older and like, or they were, more specifically if he was younger, and it was like this like thing of like, you know, we're having this moment even though we know it won't work, right?
Yeah. Like the star-crossed lovers kind of deal,
But because he's 25, right? And she's 17, and she's like saying this.
Exactly.
It's more of a conqueror. I literally named that scene when we get to it. Audrey, bump and dump, comma, come and go, comma, nut and dip.
My God.
You know, or like there's also a version of it where she's older and knows what that is, but is like, no, let's
exactly.
just have this moment for us before I say
goodbye.
Right?
Yeah.
But because she's so like starry-eyed so constantly, and because he is like supposedly older, and we see he's involved in like a lot of business and a lot of stuff like this, it's like, oh, this is just another conquest.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, like this is just like he's gonna go off to New York afterwards,
and then fuck off. Like,
yes, exactly. Yes, I got that vibe. So that's why I kind of like I didn't really. Yeah, it not that I didn't like the scene, I just don't know what to make of it, of like what I'm reading into, you know, like I don't know I don't know where to place it.
David Lynch loves his like sappy, like saccharine romance and stuff in juxtaposition to the horrible shit he does like in like the horror aspects and like the like, oh, here's murder and all this. But when he does romance, it's all very sappy and saccharine. So I think we were supposed to read at surface level of like, not that he did this episode, but he was more involved in this run of it, right? And so like I think we're supposed to read it as like,
Okay.
kind of romantic.
Oh, very sweet.
But
yeah,
I think even if that's how we're supposed to read it, I don't know if that really matters versus what it actually read to us.
It feels icky.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If we can take a moment, my food has arrived. It took too long, and so now I'm not going to be able to eat it, but I do have to get it from my front door.
Okay. Do, 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 do. Chat, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to check out Mac the Void and all his other projects on youtube.com/@MacTheVoid. That's right, youtube.com/@MacTheVoid. Mac has been playing through a bunch of different games right now and playing it in very weird and different ways, like Yakuza. And you should also check out the other video project that Mac did earlier. Was it Yakuza? Am I mixing it up? I don't remember. Anyway, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like the Twin Peaking, be sure to check out our other podcast called Res Please. It's on hiatus right now, but the content is still very good, and so you should check it out if you haven't already. That's youtube.com/@ResPlease. youtube.com/@ResPlease, where we play bad video games and try to find what's good in them. Yeah, do that right now.
Are we bringing that back?
No, it's on hiatus right now, but we always talk about this would be such a good game for Res Please. Like we keep talking about it, we keep referencing it.
We need to play Mind's Eye.
Yes, I've heard Mind's Eye is awful.
I don't know what this says about me, but the second I saw it, I was like, oh, I want to play that, but not actually. I want to play it for the... we only ran that podcast for a year and a half, and it's irreparably changed both of our lives.
Yeah, it has.
Oh my god. No, I ordered food from a new place, and when I looked at what I got, do you ever take a chance at a place and then the serving sizes are too small for what you paid?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, it's that. I'm like,
oh, my condolences.
I can't believe I just paid for this breakfast sandwich or whatever, and it's so tiny, and I'm like, oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Hopefully it'll be good. That's all I can say.
Yeah, if it's tasty, then it'll be half worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for padding for me, so that way I don't have to edit a single moment of this fucking thing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so after they have that reveal with John Justice Wheeler and Ben, we cut to Donna solving the world's dumbest mystery. Where she's up in her attic, finds her birth certificate, it's empty, and then she sees a bunch of pictures of her mom and Ben, and her dad's kind of involved. This is stupid. Everyone knew what this was the second it started happening.
Yeah.
She can put two and two together. Well, I don't know if she can. I guess consistently she's shown that she can't. But come on. She goes so far, if you remember previous episodes, she of following her mom to the Great Northern and spying on her in there and all of that. And it's you could have just gone to the attic and find your birth certificate.
Yeah.
It wasn't hidden very well. They know what it is. And she corners Ben in the next episode to talk about it.
Right.
And then treats it like a reveal when he says, "Yes, I'm your dad."
Yes.
And it's what else did you need?
What did you think was happening? That you were like an alien? What were you expecting here? It's very obvious. I know you don't like her actor, but I feel like in this particular lighting of if the mystery was deeper than a kiddie pool, I do think that Donna's actor could pull off a mystery kind of I'm solving a mystery, like Audrey, but more like kind of not with less attitude kind of deal. Like I think that she could pull off like a serious kind of like I'm searching for a mystery kind of deal, Scooby-Doo, blah 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 blah. Just because like her face when she's looking through the book is like, oh, like I can see the vision kind of deal. And so I don't know, maybe that's the lighting, maybe it's the framing and the lighting that plays a part in it. But
like the actual like directing, because the directing of this episode is so stellar. Like we'll get into it. Like there's a lot of camera work in here that I love. There's a lot of lighting choices that I love. There's a lot of and that takes everybody. That's like you know, that's the DP. That's like everybody has to be working on it fully. I don't mean to just lay it at the director's hands, but like this episode is like really well crafted, like in the actual like making of it. And so like I think that has to do with part of it. Like the reason I don't like her actor is like she can clearly do stuff with her face and understands how to do that. It's just like you can see the thought process of like each thing she needs to do. You can see that happening like, oh, I'm supposed to react this way. Like you can see that thought process behind there. And that's what I don't like about her acting. But I've only seen her in this, so you know, maybe that is like a choice she is making for the character rather than her acting style. I don't know. So you know, but yeah, I do get what you mean though, because she has the appropriate reaction. She has the thing. She just needs to hide the like thought process of it all. But yeah, that's just my opinion on it though.
That's fair. That's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah, and then she gets called down to she gets told to go to the police office. Is that what it's called? A police office? Sheriff's Department.
Sheriff's office, yeah.
Sheriff's office, whatever. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm losing it. And so she gets told to go there. Then we get a scene of is that when we get Audrey coming back to who also gets told to go to the sheriff's department?
I have a note that says Audrey just missed JJW. So
yeah, because because Donna gets told to do that, and then we cut to Audrey coming back, where we think we're getting a larger scene with it. But then like she comes in and then gets told that she has to go to the sheriff's department. Yeah. Yes,
that's correct.
Yep, they consistently miss each other throughout this episode, JJW and Audrey. They're at the sheriff's department before they have rounded up everybody. We get a scene with the Major, Coop, and Harry, as the Major fills them in on Wyndham Earl's work with Blue Book, where it's like, once we stopped looking in outer space and started looking to the woods, he started to get secretive with his information and really obsessive. And then we get this video of him talking about Dugpas, these sorcerers of evil who advance evil, and they're so pure because they're purely evil. And like, how'd you feel about this scene?
This one was one of the weaker scenes in the episode, it feels like. I like it felt like I understand that they have to convey information to set up what happens in the next episode, but it felt a little sloppy. Like it felt like we have to do this now, so we're gonna do this now. Like you know what I mean? Like it was very, very. I get the purpose of it. It was definitely the weaker scene out of everything surrounding this episode.
I think this scene like looks and sounds good, but then like when you like listen to like the actual cassette tape, you're like, well, this is some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And this is supposed to be like a secret top agent, like he's not right, like this is supposed to be like a Blue Book agent and into all this, but like what he's saying is like the dumbest anything I've ever heard before, right? And so like that juxtaposition makes it like stand out even more, you know? It's dumb.
Yes. Yes.
Like the scene itself, I would argue, is still good, but like the writing of it is bad. Like it's like, but that's tough because like they are kind of given this set of pieces to work with, and they're like, here's what we already have set up, and they're like, what the fuck are we supposed to do with this? Like,
Right.
you can feel that energy through a lot of Wyndham's scenes in here.
Yeah.
Of like, what the fuck were we supposed to do with this?
Yes. Yeah. It's just
I think they were done with Wyndham before this, but like they haven't gotten him out of the show, and he needs to be there because he is the threat. And so they're all like, all right, I guess this is kind of the vibe of every scene Wyndham's in, except for except for two. There are two scenes in this where Wyndham's in where I'm like, oh my god, this is brilliant. This makes everything worth it. And I think we know which ones popped into our brain when I said that, and we'll get to them.
Okay.
And you said some shit about it. Like, we'll get there. That I was like, oh my god, yes. Like, I think it would actually work. Oh my god. Anyways, so Wyndham is still listening in through the bonsai tree.
Yeah.
Bonsai! As, our dear Gordon Cole would say. And he's just being fucking weird in this scene. He knocks over the chessboard to kind of let us know that like that was all a waste of our fucking life. Yeah. That entire plot point was not important.
Great.
This is the one where you could really feel like David Lynch being like, none of that stuff mattered. like, I'm back and this is what we're doing. Right? Like he's not like fully back, but like this is where you're like, oh, okay, like he really didn't like the stuff that came before. And I think everyone else on this team like also was like, fuck that. Like we're
not doing this anymore.
But it does feel slightly insulting to us because we had to go through that. Any points on this initial scene with Wyndham Earl?
This is making me feel bad about Leo. Like, gosh, I felt so bad for Leo throughout this entire episode, and so especially
Leo takes
during a scene,
the remote control.
Yes, he does. Yes. Okay, I'm ready to move on.
So we cut to this old lady eating pie at the diner, and her hands start shaking, and that'll be a theme throughout this episode. But it starts shaking, and we get the violins running frantically, and then it ends, and we pan over to Bobby and Shelly having a convo at the diner, where Shelly's like reading back the speech, and Bobby helps punch it up a little bit, where it's like instead of stand up and kick butt, he changes it to stand up and fight, which is the funniest correction. Because arguably, like, stand up and fight like is more serious, but like stand up and kick butt, like because of the syllable how they hit,
it rhymes.
It actually works better. Like don't underestimate the power of like rhyming and syllable count like that. So it's like arguably worse to take it seriously in this scene, but I don't know. But then he's like, I've been thinking, I've really fucked up with you. I got too wrapped up in the whole working for Ben and all of this, and then when I saw you kissing that man in the booth, it like snapped something inside of me, and I'm here and I'm aware, and like I've messed up. You said you had some thoughts about this scene.
I do, and I think I'm still missing a huge chunk of it. Like I got a glimpse of it in season 1 episode 2 with Bobby in the jail cell with Mike. And that Bobby's supposed to be kind of like this punk who does drugs, he like there's that whole thing with Bobby. And like the episode that comes after this, there's that scene with Bobby where he gets knocked out by Wyndham Earl, and that's like his only purpose in that episode is to just be knocked out by Wyndham Earl. And in this episode, it kind of shows like again like that arc of like becoming a better person kind of deal with like the reflection again with Ben Horn and Bobby being reflected of like, I was a shitty person, now I'm trying to be better, I realize realize that I love you, Shelley. Like, we've been through so much together. I realize like what's important to me. Let's kiss now, kind of deal. And just like I like that arc again with Bobby. Like I know I'm missing like the bad end of it because that probably happens in season 1. But I like knowing I feel happy that I can watch season 1 and watch Bobby probably be an asshole and be a dickhead. But knowing what happens with him at the end of all of this journey, I think I will like that trajectory for his character a lot. So
I'd argue that like the bad arc for him was actually what you already witnessed of him like leaving Shelley to take care of Leo and to go work for Ben Horn and flirt with Audrey and like all of that. I would argue is like his worst arc. Like he was dealing drugs to kids, which is an issue, but like when you find out more information about that, it's more gray than that, and it's he's never like so I'd argue you've seen the arc that this is talking about. He's more criminal in the first part, sure, but like in terms of like his actual relationship towards other people that he's apologizing for here, like I think you've seen that already.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like Bobby.
Yeah, me too. I like this scene. It's nice. So then we get a waitress who is not Norma, but talking to Shelley like it's like Shelley is her daughter. It's really weird.
Very
like
weird.
Off camera, she's being yelled at that she has to go to the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
And at this point, we cut to somewhere with the old man and the love witch. Okay, so we talk about this later when we pop up and see it at like later in this episode. There's a dance at wherever the Miss Twin Peaks thing is happening.
Yep.
And so we talk about it there, but like let's talk about it here because we show up here. Like because when I saw this scene, I was convinced this was the Roadhouse because of the darker wood. But like
fair.
It's not. Okay, so we're at wherever the Twin Peaks thing is happening, and the old man and the love witch are going to be talking to each other, the mayor and the love witch, Lana. Okay, but that's not what we're talking about here. Where the fuck is this?
Where the frick is this? I feel like we've talked about this off podcast because
I'm pretty sure we've talked about it every time it's popped up on the podcast.
Is it? Okay.
Where the fuck is this?
Where are we? Where is this taking place? Because like in the reaction, we're like, it's not the Roadhouse because the Roadhouse, like I distinctly remember what the bar looks like at the Roadhouse.
The episode before this, we saw the Roadhouse wide open and big shots.
Yes, exactly.
This is not that.
This is not that. But like, where are we? Like, there's that outside shot of a bar near the end of the episode where it cuts to like the different locations.
Right. But
like,
that's like just a bunch of different locations.
That's just a bunch of different,
like,
right? Like that's not. I don't think that's supposed to be. Anyway, I'm confused of where this is taking place because, like, where is this taking place?
So the wood in the Great Northern is different. The wood is lighter
it's like
in the Great Northern.
It's more like yellow. It's more yellow orangey. Yeah.
And this is like a dark wood, which looks like the Roadhouse. But the layout for this place is not the Roadhouse.
It's not the Roadhouse.
I don't know where this is. It's so tight. Like it could be a set they built to look like the Roadhouse separate and they just fucked it up. Maybe. But like I don't know in universe where this is supposed to be taking place. Like and like I try to answer it every time it pops up. I'm like, okay, we're definitely at the Great Northern. No, we're at the Roadhouse. No, I don't know where this is. Like, and this was the one that broke me is like later during the dance. Like there's a pillar where there wasn't a pillar before. This is not a big bar.
I'm so confused because, like, okay, to me, it makes sense narratively that it's the Roadhouse, especially after that last episode we watched. Yeah, literally the last episode where like all of the characters that like who killed Laura Palmer shows up, right? And then like they're all like who did the thing. So narratively it makes sense that it's the Roadhouse because like all of the hardcore things happen at the Roadhouse, like the trial, that last scene that I was just talking about. Like it makes sense that Miss Twin, but it doesn't. Like I'm remembering, I literally am calling back to the last episode that we watched, like the one we recorded, and I'm remembering what it looked like, and it does not look like this room.
No.
It does not look like it at all. So I'm so confused.
I'm wondering if like this is a thing that we're supposed to take as being the Roadhouse, but because we're watching it out of order, we're noticing discrepancies in like set.
Yeah,
that maybe we wouldn't. Maybe that's the issue here. Or maybe it's not the Roadhouse and I just don't remember where it's supposed to be. Like
Yeah,
I don't know. I could probably Google it, but like it's so fucking weird. Like it needs to be more clearly signposted. Because like remember, the Roadhouse is owned by like sex trafficking Canadians. Why would they host their Miss Twin Peaks there when they know that now? Like what is oh my god. Okay.
What is going on?
Yeah. Anyways, the mayor and Lana are talking in the booth where the mayor's like, don't worry, I'll get you a load with dick so you can seduce him so you'll get the vote so then you'll marry me. Which is an insane
That is an insane sentence, yeah.
I do love it because it's so wild where he's like, because he's like, why can't we just get married? And she's like, no, not until I win. And it's like, well, okay, in that case, like you're good to like seduce him however you need to, like go blow him or whatever. But like as long as you get the vote, like I don't care. I'll introduce you that way so you can win because then we can get married. Like it's such an insane thing.
Oh my god.
I get why people don't like them. I do think it's very funny. Like people don't people don't like them, and I agreed with that. And when they first started showing up as like a couple or whatever, and I think you did too, being like whatever. And then their little plot line ended, and we were like, you were good to be done with them. As they've come back for this plot line, it is very funny.
It's funny. It's very funny.
It's
like,
very choice.
It's funny because like because before in previous scenes, like it seems like the mayor has the power in the relationship, but then this scene happens, you're like, no wait, like they're both like kind of messed up. Like they both have power over each other kind of deal. It's just like
when the plot line was like, oh yeah, she used sex magic to kill his brother and then like inherit the stuff, and then he comes in with the shotgun and they leave him with her, and like she's seducing all the cops or whatever. You're like, what is this? Like this kind of sucks. But like to evolve that into whatever this is very good.
It's choice. I love it. It's great.
But this scene's only there so that way we get context for the following episode, because I remember you being like, during that episode, you were like, wait, no, what? I thought she was with the mayor. Why is she like turning off the lights and getting with Dick in that room there? And it's like, and you're like, oh, I can't believe she's cheating on the mayor. Or like you did say you can't believe it because it's very much in her character. But you're like, oh no, the mayor doesn't know or whatever. And I'm just sitting here being like, like this is the plot twist coming up, is that the mayor knew, like oh man. But so after that, we do get the scene of all the girls come together at the police department with the poem. I want to highlight the camera work here that I think is very cool and interesting. Very good. Because it starts with all four of them and it's pulled back, and then it comes down and goes a little bit past Coop to highlight when Donna talks first about like a visitor it's claiming to know her dad, and then it pans over to like it goes just past Audrey, and then coming into frame is Shelly, who's like, this guy left a $10 tip and that's unusual for a cup of coffee, and that's unusual. And then she like leans back and gets at a camera so Audrey can have her bit of it, and then Coop leans in on from the other angle, like as it moves. Like it's a really cool sequence.
Yes,
when you break it down that way. But in terms of information, it's just there to set danger that like they've all been marked by Wyndham Earl.
Yes.
Yeah. So like in terms of what it's actually conveying is like just heightening the danger and like letting us know that the cops are at least somewhat aware, at least somewhat doing their job.
Yeah.
But the camera works really cool and it sets a tone and a vibe, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Any thoughts
Very
on that?
Cool. No, I thought it was a very well done scene. I thought it was very good. Very cool. Cool camera work.
Yep. So now we get Wyndham Part 2, the one with the collar, as I called it. Because as we go from there, we do see that Wyndham has those 3 marked out, and Leo. God, that took me so long to pull. That's embarrassing.
Are you good?
Leo is like looking at the cards and is like, Shelly. Love Shelly. Like,
yeah.
So I think they go a little too hard on this whole bit, but that's besides the point.
I agree.
And this part in particular, like, how brain damaged is he if he can understand Loxon getting the major unlocked in the next episode? If he can't understand that the thing shocks it, whatever. Anyways, so like he starts to worry about Shelly because okay, like if he has the cause and effect of like understanding that Wyndham's gonna hurt Shelly and that has a plan and stuff, he should be able to understand the basic cause and effect of it's the collar on my neck.
It's the collar, yeah.
Okay. He pulls out the remote control they stole earlier and starts threatening Wyndham with it. And like, to be honest, I do like Wyndham's reaction to all of this.
Yeah.
Of like playing into it and then the crazy laugh. Like, I think that part works. It's just like, I don't understand Leo's condition. And that's the issue in this scene.
It seems inconsistent because like, is he like, you know, like, I don't like, I don't know if like Leo's character, that might be a strong word for me, but like, because I've watched this from the other end, I do feel a lot of sympathy for Leo. And so, seeing him kind of like this in this state, it makes me feel bad, but like his condition is very inconsistent throughout the show. Like, is he getting better? Like slowly over time? Because like after in the earlier episodes of season 2, he's very much like not there. Like he is gone. But then as he's with Wyndham Earl, it seems that he gains more of a consciousness. Like it seems like he gets more shit returned back to him. So like, is his condition getting better because of the narrative calls it for that and he has to recall, or is like, you know what I mean? Like what's going on here? Like it doesn't, I'm not sure where he lies kind of deal. So yeah. But
no, he starts threatening, he starts threatening Wyndham with the remote control, and Wyndham like really plays that of like, oh no, what are you doing? And like falls back and is like acts like he's scared or whatever. And so then Leo shocks himself with the collar and Wyndham loses it laughing. And I actually do like all of his
like
part
that.
of this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like one of the few points where you're like, oh yeah, like this actually does work as him as a villain reacting this way.
Yep.
I think that's the end of that scene. Yeah. So
I believe so.
We get hotel rom-com just missing each other, where we get Audrey coming back needing to go see her dad, just getting back from the meeting with the police, and so she comes in, sees that John Justice Wheeler isn't in his room, goes to find her dad, and as she goes to find her dad, John Justice Wheeler comes out, kind of looks around for her, but then like knows he needs to go and leaves to leave.
Yes.
Leaves to leave. Pete's in this scene, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Pete
already
is in this
there.
scene.
Yeah, just kind of vibing. Yeah.
He's chilling out. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is great because that leads to some really weird shit in a couple scenes from here, where he's like inspecting a painting like real up close, right?
Yeah.
Or like the frame of the painting. Like some people think that him doing that, and also like Ben's reaction in the scene we're about to talk about, where he suddenly whips around like somebody's there or something. People think that they can feel Josie in the wood.
Oh.
And that's why Pete is like looking at like the wood and the frame and stuff.
And then there's that one part where Ben
like
turns around.
Yeah. And you think that's going to lead to something.
Yes,
but
it doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I kind of like that theory a lot, actually.
Yeah, 100%.
I really like that. Yeah. Because I really like that theory. I really, really like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm digging it.
So Audrey goes and meets with her dad, and her dad is still struggling to tell the hardest truth first. Where she's like, "Hey, where's hey daddy, I'm back," and John Justice Wheeler wasn't. She says Jack, but never. John Justice Wheeler wasn't in his room. Do you know where he is? And he's like, "Hey, I've had this idea. We need a representative."
Twin Peaks.
We need a representative to talk about like the Save Ghostwood project, and so maybe you can give a speech about that. And she's like, no, and talks about something else for a little bit. The distraction works for a second.
Yeah.
And then he pushes again to be like, hey, maybe you really should do this. And she's like, Dad, where is John Justice Wheeler?
Yeah.
And he's like, he's left for Brazil.
Yeah.
And he left you a letter and here. And she's like, when did he leave? And he says a few minutes ago. She takes off to leave, and he keeps trying to talk to her about the Miss Twin Peaks thing, but I don't know how to read this part of it. As he keeps trying to talk to her about it and convince.
Yeah.
Because part of me is like, you seemed okay with them kind of being together and letting your daughter make her choices and be this person, right? And I know you're focused on the Miss Twin Peaks thing, but part of me is also like, does he know that like with the kind of weird feelings we get about him boning and leaving, like does Ben kind of know this kind of playbook a little bit?
Right.
Is he like, maybe don't go and just take the letter and let it be like a bittersweet memory that way? Right. Like I don't.
This scene again plays into my my earlier theory of like John Justice Wheeler is just an asshole fuckboy kind of deal, because it seems very much like Ben in his good arc trying to distract his daughter from inevitable heartbreak kind of deal, and not wanting her to go through that. And so like I read it like as very much Ben just trying to like go hard on like, no, don't go, like please don't go kind of deal. And so that's why this scene combined with the last scene that I talked about this, like that's why I feel that way. Like it sets up that the feeling of John Justice Wheeler that way for me. So yeah, because like he seemed all for it while like he was going to be there, but then like maybe not all for it, but is like accepting of it at the very least. But then like finding out that he is going to leave and doing all this, and like it feels interesting to do that. But like as he's trying to stop her, and he kind of falls onto the stairs as he tries to stop her, we hear a noise and he whips around like there's something there, which is interesting too, which doesn't come up in this episode or the next. But it does lead into like this vibe of this episode, like particularly like it started once with the shaking hand earlier, but here's where we really start to get like, this is a horror episode. This is not that, like it kind of lulled us in by being like, oh, here's a little somber and a lot of funny and like a lot of like drama or whatever, but like
this is a horror episode, particularly in the back half, and this is where we really start to see that.
Right.
Even if that doesn't get resolved, it sets a tone for like this thing that's in this episode kind of hovering over it, you know?
Right.
But yeah, Audrey leaves and like grabs Pete, like initially grabs someone else and is like, hey, no, never mind. Because like, if you remember, he's the one who gave her a hard time for working at like the counter and doing all the different jobs initially.
Yes. Yeah.
And so she's like, you know what, never mind, and then goes and like just like, I would say commissions Pete, but that sounds like more voluntary. Conscripts is probably the better word.
Yes, I like that. Yeah.
to take her to the airport, and he is kind of down for it, but like he has to be like dragged away from the painting and keeps looking back at it, which is really interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's gonna get Pete to take her to the airport. Anything to talk about there besides that it's a great little bit of scene work, and I wish we got more Audrey and Pete.
I also wish, yes, I was about to say, like, it's a very unlikely duo because like Catherine is like, you know, going all hardcore Ben Horn, especially in earlier episodes, and so it's just an interesting it's when you think about it of like what is happening here on a deeper level. Like Catherine is married to Pete. Catherine was also fucking Ben Horn on the side, and Ben Horn's daughter is Audrey, and Audrey is friendly with Pete. Like it's just like it's such an interesting kind of circle here, and so like when I realized like they were like, because I thought it was weird at first of like, she says hi to Pete and like, of course they know, it's small town, like they know each other. So she says hi. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, obviously they would know each other. And then she's like, you got a car? He's like, I have a truck. And then she's like, okay. And then they go off and I'm like, wait a minute, this is an unlikely duo that I was not expecting to show up this late in the game kind of deal. And so, yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought it was a very fun scene. I love the theory that Pete is looking at the wood and sees Josie in it kind of deal, like has the feeling that Josie's like watching. I don't know, like that adds a whole other layer to the scene that's like, it's cool. It's very cool. I just like, I know that's not like confirmed or anything. It's just like, now I ever since you mentioned it like 5 minutes ago, I can't help but think like maybe that is what it is. Cause like, it's cool. It's very, I like it. I think that's a cool thing.
Yeah. So when I say that's like a theory that's passed around,
sorry, can we pause? I got an interview calling. Hold on. Hello? Hi, Glenn. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Yes.
Amazing. Well, I'm happy to share here, Jan.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. I'm looking to
Okay.
with you here at some point next week, depending on your schedule.
Okay, that sounds good.
So I've got a late day appointment on Monday.
How late in the day on Monday would that be?
So we'd be looking to 3 o'clock or 3:30.
You know what? 3 o'clock sounds perfect to me.
Okay, amazing. So we've got 3 o'clock on Monday, September 8th.
Okay.
I'll finalize the calendar invite here.
Perfect. That sounds fantastic.
All right. Well, I do wish you well with the conversation here on my call.
You too. Thank you so much, Glenn.
Thanks so much, Jan. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. Mac, I have an in-person interview. Oh my gosh.
Congratulations. I'm so excited
Thank
for you.
I was sorry. I had to take that to make sure I got that. But yay. Okay. Monday.
No worries,
3:30.
yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
Amazing.
Okay.
You got
Yay.
this.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Sorry to cut you off there. I don't know how you're going to edit that, but
No worries. I'll just cut it, a hard cut.
okay. All right. Here,
Yeah,
I will. I'll transition us back into it. Okay.
Great.
3, 2, 1. I don't need to clap, and we're back. Sorry about the hard cut there, everyone. But Mac, I will let you continue your train of thought here.
Hey, thanks. It's amazing that you think I would still have it. No, I only retain thoughts like for as long as like I can get them out, and the second that's gone, it's just gone. I black out during recordings. I black out during streaming. I don't
Mac
remember
doesn't know
anything.
what's going on.
I don't.
Mac just turns on live and then just disappears for 3 hours and then comes back after you
Yeah,
hit
yeah.
end
No, in my
live
brain, it's
stream.
like, okay, so I recorded with Jay, but if you ask me anything that happened there, I won't remember. And then you'll say a line, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember exactly when that happened, or like, you know, I'll be able to say that, or like, if people like I won't remember if someone writes a quote at me of something I said like during a stream or something, but if they like then say something at me or like say, oh, we had this conversation here, I could then remember all of it. It's like locked away in a separate part of my brain. I don't remember. And as far as like having thoughts and retaining trains of thoughts, it's gone. It's always gone.
Yeah.
It's always gone. Oh no. Luckily the notes help me though.
Good.
No, when I say like it's a theory with people, I am also, I won't tell you when each of them are, but some of them are theories that are post season 3 coming out. Some of them are pre season 3.
Okay.
But like from before season 3 ever happened in the 25 years between there. And some of it is like while season 3 was coming out. I will be throwing all of those types of theories at you.
Okay.
So you know, that might be a theory that never is answered, or it might have a definitive answer in 3. So,
Okay.
there you go.
I'm
Yeah, because
excited.
you were talking about it like it wasn't like
Definitive.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it might not be, but it might be. And so I want you to know
Okay.
that might be in your future.
Okay.
Okay, so after that, we do get the boys talking, Coop, Harry, and kind of Andy, but he's not really participating in the conversation. Drawing the map and talking about it, and then they're like, all right, well, where's the major? We need to go find him. And so Andy leaves, and then Coop looks outside and starts to talk to his best friend Harry about like this romance he's feeling for Annie, really rubbing in his face that Harry's girlfriend just died and being like, isn't it great to be in love, recently semi-widowed man.
Yeah.
Like, isn't love grand, man who was just betrayed like less than a week ago by what he thought was the love of his life?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very funny when you remember these episodes happen day by day.
I forget that.
Yeah, because that means
That's
that
crazy.
it was literally less than a week. Because it's like episode 16. That was like 4 days ago.
Right.
So it's very, very funny. when
That's
he's
crazy.
Like,
Oh my gosh.
When you put
Okay.
into that perspective, he'd be like, "Ah, I'm so in love." And like the look that Harry gives initially is like, oh, Josie, oh, I'm so sad. And then he's just trying to be there for Coop.
Right.
But yeah. No, it's a slightly sweet scene.
Yes.
Like how it's supposed to be taken. Any thoughts on this scene in particular? It's mostly just Coop talking about
Yeah,
Annie.
I think it's cute. I think it goes to show like it's kind of not that it's a nothing burger scene, but like it's a
actually very
small
important.
scene. Yes, it's a small scene that showcases like the trust again between Harry and Coop. So I don't know. I like that scene because of it. So
I think the big thing here is that like Harry even says like, oh, it's not like you for your mind to wander, and for Coop to be like, yeah, you know, it's treated as romantic of like, she just keeps popping up in my head. But like, in context of what we know is about to happen and the mistakes that are made, feels very much like, oh, he's wrapped up in being in love and not focusing on the things he needs to focus on. And so like in retrospect and with what you already know, like it feels like, oh, this is really showcasing that his eye's not on the ball. He's losing his touch as like a super agent man. Right. Mm-hmm. So like, I think that's the bigger part, but on a first watch through, probably doesn't stand out as much. You probably think it's just like a cute little, look at them getting together. But like, because you know what's about to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially after I complained, like knowing the next episode and how much I complained during the podcast episode of like, Coop, get it together. Like
100%. And there's so much Coop being out of character, but like not like where it ruins his character, but more like with this context of like, oh, he is so not in the game right now because he's so focused on Annie.
He's in love. He is in love.
like Coop ignoring Andy in the following episode of like so much. It makes more sense with this in context of like, he's not present and he's worried about Annie, and so he's just not and so like that's what the scene really is. I think it does a good job of playing both sides of it pretty well. But from there we move on to the Major in the Woods parentheses best costume yet. I love this scene. And you said something about it that makes me love it more. Okay, so the Major is out in the woods. He's just appreciating trees. Like, it's so funny watching him walk in the woods because it comes off as a guy who's told to, like, you love the woods, go love the woods. But, like, the actor is like, I don't know what that means, so I'm just going to go up to, like, every tree and touch it a bit. Like, it's so funny. But yeah, as the Major's out in the woods and he's like touching this tree, we hear like a clopping coming up, kind of not real clopping though, but like
fake clopping,
like fake, very Monty Python. And speaking of Monty Python, the Major turns around and there we see in a horse costume a person. Who could this be? And they pull out like a gun and shoot the Major, but it's a tranquilizer dart that he pulls out. And as he falls, Wyndham Earl takes his thing off, makes fun of Leo for being the back end of a horse. This scene is brilliant.
Yes.
I love this scene so much.
It's a good scene.
Some people get so pissed at this because like Wyndham's done all these costumes and he's like, you know, absolutely goofy, you know, like not a serious threat really, like the type of like, oh, I'm so insane, but like in like a zany way. Not in an actual threat way. That like this is just like to cap it off. But like, I like this on a metatextual level because it feels like this is where they're like, yeah, all the costumes are stupid, so let's just take that to the 10th degree. Like
play into the stupid.
Let's put a lampshade on this of like, yes, we know it was stupid, that was a mistake, and I love it for that reason. It is also extremely funny to have him just walk up in this horse outfit, shoot him, and then take off the mask and be like, ha. And then you said something that like I'm trying to fit into my brain of like, if we've talked about it before of don't show Wyndham Earl.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You said, now imagine if this was the first time we see Wyndham Earl and like this is his reveal. And I love it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Because like it's so like all the plot point, like let's say we keep everything the same, like the ridiculousness of it, but you don't see his face the entire time. You just hear his voice, you hear his cackling, whatever it may be, or you see it from Leo's point of view. You just see Leo's reaction to what he's saying. And this being the first time you see his face, I think that would be like that would be talked about for centuries, kind of like reveal. You know what I mean? Like that would be talked about for forever. Like people will love it or they'll hate it. They'll think it's brilliant or they'll think it's stupid. But I think it'd be iconic nonetheless if that was the first time you ever saw his face.
Yeah,
I think it'd be
because
very,
like
very good.
we had talked about it before of like let Leo be by himself in the cabin and kind of frame it like he's doing evil stuff too, and then have it be slowly revealed that he's not in charge over there.
Yeah.
And like the big thing is like, yeah, when he shows up to Donna's house, like you can show him from behind or whatever, and then have him knock on the door, but then don't show their interaction at all. Don't show anything like that. And so when it cuts away later, and Dr. Hayward is like, no, that friend's been dead for years. Like it's scarier, and like people leaving these poems and stuff, right? Like I think that works. I would just fully get rid of the Leo thing and just have these pop up on occasion. But if you do all of that and then this is the introduction to him, like he's only like in this episode, I think he could be like properly to a degree. There's a little bit of weirdness, but like if this is where you're introduced, because it's only for like a couple of episodes, it can feel more intense of what the fuck is this guy?
Yes.
Well, like we already know what this guy is because we've had like 7 episodes of this, right? But if this is where we're like, oh, like this big threat that we've had looming showed up like this and is clearly like not there all the way. Right? Like we know he can put a plan together, and we've seen him hover over the show but not seen him. Then him coming out this way, we're like, oh, we really don't know what he's going to do then. Like, right? At this point, we know what he's going to do because he has a pattern of behavior.
Right.
And that's what makes all the zany shit dumb.
Yes.
But like if we didn't have that pattern behavior and we get this, and then we get a proper torture sequence after this, we're like,
that's
what
true.
side of him is real, right?
Yes,
like what side of this is like actually happening versus not, right? Like, yeah, I 100% think that would work if you hadn't shown him and just had his actions echo throughout the show. I don't think it would work for everybody. It would work for me.
And me is all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. So then we get one of the great scenes of the show immediately after this. I really want to walk through your thought process of what this following scene is, because what it is Cooper shows up to talk to Annie. They're talking about the Twin Peaks going to do maybe her going to do it, and like it shows that, and then it starts pulling out, and then it keeps pulling out, and we start to get like darker music playing, and it keeps pulling out while they're having these interactions, and there's a lot of stuff happening around them, and like we'll hear all these different noises, like when the door opens to the kitchen, it's like loud and kind of in the space of them talking. People get up and walk past it. You started by saying, oh, this is so cute, like is how you said that, and like I'm just sitting here like stimming on my like pants and knees because I'm like, oh, I'm so tense. Like this, I know how this scene goes, and I am upset. Like upset's not the right word, but like it is horror. It's
unsettling. It is very unsettling. I do remember I did say that, like, oh look, they're cute, like they're talking about their day. I don't know if you noticed, but I went completely silent by the end of that scene.
That's what I want to know, is because like there's a part of my brain where I'm like, it's why I'm a natural moderator, is like I'm like in terms of like doing podcasts and doing like moderating a conversation, but like where we're like, as you go quiet and as stuff is happening, I'm like, or like when you're like, oh, it's so cute, like I kind of wanted to like talk through that and see, but then I also knew like, no, like I just need this to play out, because there's a vibe to this scene that is upsetting.
Yes,
it's
I'll
upsetting.
tell you my thought process as that scene happened. So I was like, because like I already like Coop and Annie. Like,
Yes.
it's very, like, I know Audrey and Coop OTP for me, but like, I do like Coop and
They're
Annie
not
together.
bad. They're not a bad option. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, like cute. They're like getting to know each other, blah, 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 blah. Like more flirty, haha, back and forth. And like, as it panned out, I was like, oh, we get to see them like in the context of like the world around them. You know, like they're like, I thought that at first they were playing it as those two are off in their own world together as the world moves around them. You know, like I thought it was like that
is
kind
still
of scene.
true, but it is
Yeah.
bad. It's bad that they are that way.
and so I was like, oh, it's cute. Like you can kind of see the context of like what the relationship looks like to other people. But then I thought that at first I had a YouTube tab open that like suddenly played like horror music, and I was like, what's going on? And like then I could hear it better. I'm like, oh no, wait, this is like unsettling as fuck. Like I was like is like who is what? Because like it's not Wyndham. Like we've seen POV shots of like, I'm talking specifically of like Leo watching Bobby, who's watching the trio of James, Donna, and Maddie at the pergola.
To be fair, we
in
don't
that
know
one
that's
episode.
Leo, and I think that we're supposed to assume at this point that it was Leland.
Yes, that's true. Yes, but I thought it was Leo at the time, that it was Leo watching them, and so we've seen POV shots before like that. So I was like, is this
watch them while they were out at the boat?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
We have seen Wyndham watch. So that's why I thought, is this Wyndham? But like it hangs too long for it to be
Such a
Wyndham.
long
Like
shot.
it feels like Wyndham's POV shots have been very brief because I feel like his character is portrayed as like very erratic, very kind
Manic.
of like manic, all over the place kind of deal. Whereas this shot, it hangs too long for it to be Wyndham Earl. It's very methodical in how this shot is hung. And so is it Bob? Is it a Bob POV like kind of deal? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's where my mind went, is like, is it someone from the Black Lodge that's watching Leo waiting for their moment to strike kind of deal? And so it felt very unsettling, and I liked it a lot.
Yes. Is it even a thing, or is it just like the town itself? Right? Like, is it like just the things that are here and exist, and like that they are set in the middle of, and they are finding, they go, like you said, like it is just them off in their own little world doing this. But like as a negative, as like a, you like there are things here and you are just doing like, you know, like I don't know, like it's hard to put like a single meaning on this, because like for like, this is why like movies and stuff like can be TV shows, like visual media can be so dense, is because it's like through visual medium, like you can just like add layers and layers and layers onto something. And like even a single shot of just them talking like this, by having like the mixing be different than normal and have like a creeping soundtrack in, it adds like depth and meaning to a shot where it's like hard to just say like this is what this is meaning. Like it's not just them being watched, it is multiple things happening at the same time. Like it this entire episode, or maybe not the entire episode, but definitely since like Ben turned around, but like specifically even before then with the shaking hand, like it feels like the evil is returning here. Like you had a respite where you were able to deal with like real world stuff of like the cocaine conspiracy, and you had a respite of being able to deal with like, you know, a serial murder or whatever. But like now this is like reminding us like there is more here. And you forgot that, Coop. Like a little bit, right? And then Annie breaks a plate and we get this great, like, all of this is very Lynchian, but it's not Lynch. I think it's the closest the show gets to doing Lynchian when Lynch isn't like directly involved. Is this sequence,
Right.
and this isn't my favorite sequence. This isn't my favorite horror sequence in the show, but my favorite horror sequence in the show is this episode. Which is like a surprise, because this scene is like immediately like on your like maybe not immediately, but like the way it gets you on edge, and like you can feel your like bristles, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it breaks the plate, and then we just watched like syrup, like dark syrup dripping, and you're like, fuck, like this shouldn't be as like scary as it is, but like knowing something bad is going to happen is worse than the bad thing happening sometimes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like it's like setting up like the you're fucked vibe.
Yeah.
Great scene. Love this scene. Any other thoughts on this scene before we move on?
No, I think we covered mostly. Yeah.
I write, Pete and Audrey catch justice. They pull up to the airport and stop and flip right away. And you have such a strong reaction to this, where like John Justice Wheeler comes out, and Audrey and him are talking, and it's like, oh, you're back, yada yada yada. And then she does the thing that she did with Coop earlier of being like, I'm a virgin, and you were like, what? Like, or like you did something like that. Or like you knew she was a virgin already, but you're like, why are you saying that? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a virgin, so fix that. Like,
yeah, like what a way to bring a man in. Like,
yeah,
okay.
like, I don't know if that would work on me at any stage in my life of like, I'm a virgin as like a pickup line. I'd be more careful about that. Like, well, I'm about to leave, so I can't be the one to do it. And like, that is sexist in a different way of like treating virginity like as too precious or whatever. And I'm aware of that. But like, also, someone being like, hey, I'm a virgin, so let's like do this before you leave. I'd be like, I'm leaving. I'm not gonna do that. That's fucked up. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it either. My what reaction is still
Yeah.
It's still valid right now of what? Like, okay.
What?
Sure, Audrey.
Yeah.
The thing that I want to talk about with this scene is that Pete's there, and like,
he's just hanging out.
He's just hanging out. Like, if I was Pete and I drove Audrey to the airport and I saw Audrey get on the plane and they closed the door and like they didn't fly away, and like I would have waited like 5 minutes and been like, okay, they're busy, like I'm gonna leave now. But like Pete stayed.
And what a good man, honestly. Because like,
honestly, yes, that's why it made me like, aw, Pete.
Well, especially when you like consider it was like a month ago that we had 2 young women murdered. Like,
yes, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
that's
it's
true.
like, I am gonna hang out here. You guys can go have fun, and I won't judge you for it. But I am here so your body doesn't get dumped somewhere.
Yes.
Like,
I do like Pete. I've never vocalized it. Maybe I have in different ways, but like I've always said like Catherine's number 1 for me kind of deal. Like I've always loved Catherine, but Pete is just like he's a side character, but he's an excellent side character. He shows up at the right places at the right times, and this is one of those times where like I'm glad that Pete was just hanging around the hotel, just looking at the wooden frame on the wall, just hanging out for the day. And he was there for Audrey, and just like I don't know, everything about him. I'm glad he was there, and I'm glad that he decided to also just hang out in his truck for a couple hours while Audrey lost her virginity, I guess. Yeah.
Also, like, we'll get into it, that scene, and maybe this is just telling on myself, but it does seem like it's multiple hours.
Yeah, it's like multiple, like it's daylight when they arrive
Yeah,
there.
it's like midday.
And it's like
nighttime
past
when
sunset.
he-
Yeah, it's past sunset when she finally like reunites with him again. It's just like, man, Pete, like you know, I'm glad that you just
less
checked
what I
to
meant,
see if Audrey was safe.
and more like for a first time for somebody. I feel like maybe multiple hours. Like that doesn't ring true to me. Like, I guess they had to also probably talk and foreplay is wonderful and probably eats up some of that time. But like,
Yeah.
at what, like, it's multiple hours. It's not like
It's
hour and a half.
multiple
It's like
hours.
multiple hours. I don't think you're getting multiple rounds in.
Yeah.
But I guess they did, and more power to them.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them.
Yeah, and I guess that's revealing about me, I guess, but like, I don't know. I think like, hour and a half, 2 at most is probably fine.
Right? Yeah.
Right? Like, even if we're counting foreplay and then doing the deed and then the refraction periods and then more foreplay, like, even if we're counting all of that,
Yeah.
I would be like, friction burn's a thing, guys. Like, I don't think he had lube on his jet, right? Or he does, and that's a bad sign too.
That's a bad sign too. Yeah, exactly.
Like, either he pulls out the lube and you're like, well, I actually don't want to do this because like I don't trust why you had that here. Or he doesn't have any, and multiple hours is like a lot, kind of.
Yeah.
I guess. Anyways.
Oh God.
Yeah. Like that's like porn shoot type of thing of like, and they need a lot of breaks. They need to go take showers.
They do. They got
need the rest.
They got to drink water. Like there's a whole thing
there's
that
a lot
comes
of
with
back
that.
end to all of that
Yeah.
stuff. So what is this
Yeah.
for her first time? Okay. Anyways. Like, that bugs me every time, but like, again, I don't know if that's just revealing about me or not, but like, it does bug me. So after as Audrey and John Justice Wheeler start to get it on, we cut back to Wyndham and he has the Major up on like a bullseye shooting thing, and he loads up his crossbow and shoots it to kind of like torture kind of the Major to try to get information out of him, and the Major is very much like that's classified and I can't reveal that information. And I think this marks the first time you've ever intentionally or unintentionally just like automatically called him Major, which I would like to be like, yeah, like he needs all the moral support he can get. So
yes. I wanted to give him his flowers there, so I gave him his proper title.
Yeah. But yeah, Wyndham then like goes up and is like, well, what's the capital of like Nebraska? And he's like, Raleigh. So like he's willing to answer when it doesn't matter, which is, I love that because it really shows like a side to him of being like fighting back against Wyndham in the what little way he can in his like, because like he's like this like spiritual open kind of guy as well, right?
Right.
And so like there's this side to him where like it's as close to him going fuck you as like I can picture him doing, Right. And then Wyndham decides to give him a future heart attack by loading up some drug in there, but it also has an air bubble in it, which is definitely going to kill the Major.
It's going to kill him, yeah.
But like he also injects it weird, where he just stabs it into it and injects it, and it's like that's not going to do much, right? Unless he's just like so good with this shit that he's able to nail it into a vein from there. I don't know.
Right. I don't know. Who knows?
We know that this is hella Paradol, just a ton of Paradol. Because in the next episode, when they get the Major back, they're like, oh, he's loaded up on this. I think that's actually the episode where you said that that's what you heard the first time was heliparidol.
Yeah, heliparidol. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what he gets loaded up with, and it's treated like a truth serum. I don't know
Right.
how true that is. I don't know if there's any. Truth serum always rings to me as like, that has to be bullshit, right? That can't be real.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, I do know some drugs alter state of minds, and that can get people to be more loose with what they say. So like, I don't know. It feels fake,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But you know, we have demons in this world, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Like who cares if truth serum is real or not if demons and Bob exist kind of deal. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Realism is out the window at that point. So
Yeah. No. Why not make it a spy show as well as everything else it's been at this point? And so, he is asked a few questions of like, how much does your wife weigh? 115. What is your greatest fear? And oh my God, his answer. Like
his answer.
His greatest fear is that love is not enough. And like, you're like, oh, sweetheart. Like, it says a lot about who he is as a person.
Yes, it does. Yeah. It explains a lot about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that his belief that like love is enough.
Yes.
Like it shows that is his belief, and his fear would be that is incorrect.
Is not enough. Yeah.
Yeah. But he does ultimately give up that, like, he saw the glyphs on the wall of the cave in a dream after he got kidnapped by whatever while he was night fishing with Coop. And Wyndham seems to be able to to figure something out from that, but like not enough, because he then zones out. And he's like, I wanted more. Right. From here we go and get our little dose of Catherine and Andrew. Speaking of here, yes. Yeah, this is very cute. Did you have anything to say about the torture sequence?
No, all good. Okay. We're good.
Yep. This is very cute, very sibling energy.
Very sibling energy. Like, there's a universe where I think it would be funny, because you know how like the log lady is like the pre episode things. Yes. There's another universe where in the commercial break there's a Catherine and Andrew little thing of where they bicker about something. Like I can see that vision of them just like bickering about like leaving the cap off the toothpaste or some bullshit like that.
I want the show from their perspective. Like have Andrew around the whole time but pretending to be dead as they're like plotting how to set the mill on fire for fraud and how to do this, that, and the other, and like have them get up to the criminal mischief, but like as like two siblings who are extremely old. Like I love that. I want that as its own thing. And like you could have some like wild shit happening in the background elsewhere in town, but like just have that kind of like trickle in of like, that'd be like a running joke about like this murder happened at like this FBI agent that would like cause them to be tense about all the criminal stuff, but turns out they're focused on this other thing. And it's like, it turns out that they think he was dealing cocaine, and they're like, what? And then it turns out he was framed, and you're like, what? But like they're just off on the side. Right? Like I want that. That sounds so funny. But no, they're trying to solve the puzzle box, which is really funny to watch in modern stuff. I don't know if it looks this way on CRT and stuff, because like all of the symbols except one are just painted on there, and then the one is like a button you can press to pop out this.
That's why I was I was a little confused about that, just a little bit. So
because he'd be like, I'm entering in
my birthday,
and he's like touching the moon, the moon paintings. And you're like, what? And it's like, what about his birthday? And hits, and you're like, what? And then it's like, the day we got the box, and I think that's the one that opens it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Which pops it open, and inside was another box that they immediately break to get to a metal one. It's so choice.
Very good.
It's so choice to be like, here's another box, and then they're like, no, immediately break it. Let's move on to the next. Like, which is very good. And they're kind of mystified by this metal box that we see later that they shoot.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I labeled this one as Dance at Miss Twin Peaks. We are lost. Yeah, this is where you and I mutually had our meltdown about like, where is this? We've already covered it, so we don't have to redo it. But like, this is where we were like, this is not the Roadhouse. But yeah, so they're there. There's a little dance going on. Coop eventually gets oh my God.
Annie?
Sometimes this. Thank you, Annie. The only name that was popping up was Audrey. And I was like, that would upset you if I said that. Yeah, Coop gets Annie to dance with them a little bit, and they're dancing, and they're being real hot and heavy with it. Of like, I like the way your body feels against mine, and she's like, I was about to say the same thing, and like, she is so horny.
Yes.
Which I appreciate, because like he does keep treating her like this pure innocent thing, which I think shows a flaw in him and how he views women.
Yeah.
Which I think is intentional, but like she is like so ready to jump his bum.
She's like ready to like just take me now, Coop. Take me now.
I was in a convent for 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get some, and this sexy agent is into me. Let's go. Right? Which happens the following episode, and where he's caught off guard there too. But it's like, and they even have a little bit of a conversation about that. But like, I understand why you treat me preciously. It paints an image for me to be in a convent, but it's not like that.
Right.
Like I'm just a woman.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like as they're kind of like about to start dirty talking on the dance floor a little bit, it almost seems like it gets like cut off by the mayor having like technical issues with the microphone. It's so funny.
It's so good.
Yeah, the first time it happens, it's like this interruption in the middle of their like semi-serious conversation about like their sexual tension or whatever, and he's like, "Is this thing on?" And it like keeps coming in and out, and with like noise and stuff. And he's like, he's really starting to frustrate with me with this, and Eddie's like, "No, I think it's cute.
I think it's cute."
Like,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, it is really sweet. And that continues to happen. There's like a second add-on joke of that happening. But after that, it kind of puts a spotlight on Coop. Yep. Everything else goes black. I think it's supposed to be still as it can be.
Yeah.
And he looks towards the stage where the mayor has been replaced by the giant, who is giving the most clear sign that the other side will ever give in this entire show. Spoilers, that's probably the most clear sign the other side will ever give. That's not true. I actually think of one other one, but the most clear sign that they'll ever give to Coop, of just him going no, like mouthing no, and a big like, don't do this. Don't let her do Miss Twin Peaks. Don't do this romance. Keep your eye on the ball. No, just no. Like,
I have my note of giant no in my notes, because like, yeah, this is the first time that like everything else has been very cryptic of like what they're trying to convey. This is like them waving the giant flag of like, Coop, pay attention. And it's just it's very funny that Coop has kind of like this look on his face like, whoa. and then he kind of goes back to dancing with Annie. Like that's it.
So weirdly, I think this actually does work for me though, in terms of like being like setting the tone. Like, is it comedic? Is it whatever? Yes, but like the fact that they are being so direct heightens the tension for me of being like,
I agree.
Like, this is real. Like, dude, stop. Like,
Yeah.
we were able to lead you before, but like, we're really trying to pull out, like, you're about to like fuck up hard. You're about to like, this is like really bad that we have to just come out and say no. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Which really works for me. So it actually before it's weird. I don't know how this sits in there because a lot of stuff happens and then it'll come back to the scene where like he's still looking and there's the spotlight and it disappears. So I don't know whether he's seeing all this stuff or all this is just happening simultaneously. But it is interesting.
Yeah.
Because from here it comes to the Audrey bump and dump, come and go, nut and dip.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Pete wakes up from in his car, watches the plane take off, and here's Audrey comes up by him crying, which I would be too after 2 hours and losing mine. I'd be probably sore. Like it's probably not comfortable. And no, she's like, he was gonna take me fishing, and he's like, well, I can take you. Like, don't worry, I have stuff in the tackle box, and like, I think they go fishing that night. It sounds like.
I think so. I think it's implied that they go literally right after that.
yeah, because he's like, there's nothing like seeing a trout jump in the moonlight, and like I can, and she seems down for it. Yeah, when he's like, we were gonna go fishing at the lake, he's like, well, I got tackle, and she's like, you do? Like, yeah, let's go, which is very sweet.
I think it's Pete needs his best friend back. Like him and Josie, that's one thing that like I miss after Josie's death is like Pete didn't have like a partner in crime to kind of like fuck around with and be silly with. And so like he has Catherine, but Catherine's on like a different pedestal. Like Catherine is like his queen. He can't ask his queen to go moonlight fishing with him kind of deal. Like he loves his queen, but it's not the same kind of deal.
Shot down for
oh
it,
yeah, exactly. Like Catherine was like, no, Pete, what the frick? I don't want to go fishing with you. And so I think they both needed that. Like that's where that seems like it came from of like Pete needs, like he's willing to like take kind of Audrey, not under his wing, but you know what I mean? Like he's like, you know what? I got a tackle box, honey. Like let's go and fish in the moonlight. And Audrey's like, you know what? I'm heartbroken right now. I would love that kind of deal. And so I really liked that scene. It's silly, but I really liked that scene with them. It's so unexpected, but I enjoyed it. Yeah.
It makes you wish that you got more of them together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We have this weird ass scene of like, again, horror, but different of Wyndham over the top of like, it's like Leo screaming. We have the Major just like mumbling and being out of it. And Wyndham like has solved where the Black Lodge is and when it's going to open. And I don't know how to feel about it because it feels like it's working as like a little bit of like horror or whatever, but like it's not. Wyndham is just too much. Like him popping up being like,
I prefer the scene that comes after this. Yeah, the
planets being around are also a clock, and then he pops up out and goes like or whatever, and like that's like dumb.
right yeah,
that's just stupid. Right. And like, again, I don't think if we hadn't seen him before, this in juxtaposition with like the torture scene with like the horse thing,
it would work a little bit better.
What is this? But because we're like, okay, like what is this?
Wyndham.
Yeah. And I think it's not as effective as like you were saying, like there's a scene that's about to happen a little bit that is significantly better.
Yes.
And so that's why this one stands out. I was like, what is this kind of vibe, right? So do we need to say anything about that? He solves the puzzle. I have something to say about it.
Okay.
Did you recognize the case?
No, I don't recognize the case.
Where he had that case with the computer inside of it, and he was like typing
Oh
away
yeah,
on
wait, is that the case that is in season 3 that evil Coop uses?
it. Pretty sure.
Oh.
At the very least, it's very similar. It's the same.
It's
type
very
of
similar
technology.
at the very least. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So if it's not the exact same one, it is
Interesting. Okay.
of that type. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So then we cut back to the dance where Coop is just like, he's like, huh, what? And then just goes back to dancing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I could probably safely ignore that. Like, Coop, come on, babe. You're better than this.
Get it together, Coop. Come on.
Yeah. And then we get, like, the first time I saw this, I messaged people being like, I think this is like some of the best like horror filmmaking I've seen. It's so minor, but like this sequence like really affects me.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite pieces of any media, of like cinematography, and like just the way that it uses just some regular shots, some slight motion, and vibes to set a tone. Like this deeply affects me as like for horror. Like this is how I think of horror more than I think of like
jump scares.
Like you know, I've seen Terrifier. I think it's a fine movie as like a horror thing. Like I've seen a lot of like that kind of like horror as well. And you know, I recently finally saw Hereditary and all of that type of the elevated horror, and I'm putting that in the biggest quotes I possibly can. Right. And I do like a lot of stuff like that too, though I don't like Ari Aster's movies, but that's neither here nor there. But for me, when I think of horror, what I try to capture, the things that upset me about Silent Hill, the things that upset me about different horror games, Signalis, the things that upset me about whatever, is like kind of encapsulated in this sequence in a way that I can't express fully. I'll try to get through what the sequence is, and then you can give me your vibes on it. But like it's so hard to talk about because it's nothing, right? So we get the shot of the bar. We get the shot of the stoplight, or I think it goes bar, then the stoplight, in these empty streets, and it's dark and we see the lights, and then we get the diner, and then it cuts to inside of the school, I think is first, and it kind of pushes in on camera. Then it cuts to the sheriff's department, where it kind of pans and is still moving forward, and then cuts to the Great Northern and pushes in farther, and then we cut to the forest, where we see a spotlight on a hand that is like coming out of nothing and wriggling like we've seen throughout the scene. And then eventually Bob materializes and then like weirdly moves and snap cuts, and then it pans down to the oil. I'm calling it oil. Who knows what the fuck it is, but it looks black and oily. And we see a reflection of these curtains, and that's the end of the episode. Yeah. The Bob coming out part is less what affects me, though that is also bad and horror. Like, it's good, but it's also like, oh god. But like, it's all that stuff leading up to it. It is like the still shots of the city outside of it just being quiet and dead, very liminal space as in the modern parlance, right? And then like just like these empty things that were like kind of pushing through and moving slowly. Like it's This sequence is why this sequence and the Annie and Coop scene are why this rates as high as it does.
Okay. One thing I like about this scene, I'm again bringing up like echoes of previous episodes into this. A lot of the scenes that you point out are just like long, not hallways, like the school hallway is one of them, but like, and the hallway of like the hotel, the Great Northern.
Yeah.
Like
no,
they're
even
all
when
hallways.
we see that one, like we're at the end of that hallway. We're pushing through multiple hallways, but getting farther and farther through them. It's but yes.
Yeah. So the thing about the hallways, it was again a reflection. If you recall, when Leo is at the end of they portray the lobby of the Great Northern as a hallway, and Coop is at one end and Leland is at the other. And that like it's just interesting that like there are series of hallways that are reflected again, echoed in this particular scene. Like again, the hallway of what's the guy that carries the milk in the Great Northern. I can't remember his name, but like he's also like at the end of the hallway. It's like another unsettling like callback to that. And it's just like it's very choice to choose these spaces as something to reflect back on. And so like that's why I like this episode, because it echoes not everything, but like there's so many echoes of things that happen in previous episodes that are again echoed in this one. And so when those scenes are happening with like these different spaces and showcasing like, you know, the different locations that's happened throughout the show, it's very like reflective of, you know, these are locations where shit goes down kind of deal. And like I didn't get like the horror aspect. Like I got unsettling for sure, but for me it was very much a callback to like, wow, like look how far we've come and something is going to happen, like shit is about to go down kind of deal. Very unsettling, and I thought it was very well done.
Well, like for me, like the horror is like the almost like beckoning nature of it, of like the like we are compelled to witness this or be compelled to like something is in when it's the space itself that's like vibrating, not like it's not like a thing, it is like the space, right? Like Silent Hill 2 when it's most effective is like that, right? Of like and like something that bugs a lot of people, and I get it, is like the window where it's like written on there of like there was a hole here, it's gone now. Right? And like how space itself can like be bad, right? Can be evil and horror. Like that's where I get the horror from all of this. But like, no, you're absolutely correct. And there's a few connections you made there that I think are interesting, but I can't talk about. I really like. But yeah, no, it's 100%. And like, there's also this, I was talking about it with Violet in hey, go check out my other podcast that I'm doing with another friend called This Is Not a Review, where we're playing Cyberpunk extremely slowly and interestingly. She brought up like how like there are or we like mutually brought up like she saw like a Alice in Wonderland reference in there or whatever, and I was like, yeah, and it's also a Matrix one, and those reference each other as well. But like there's this idea in media, like what makes a good reference work is like when you're referencing something, you are also borrowing the power of like the themes of that thing, or like the depth of that thing, of what it's talking about, what it's represents on a broader scale. And so that allows you to have a shorthand for what you're trying to talk about and say, and create multiple layers of depth by including those things in there. A cheap reference is like, hey, don't you recognize this? But like a good reference is like, we are taking like we're using this as a representative of themes of what we're talking about, right? It's the same reason why imagery and metaphor is so powerful. Is like,
right,
you're able to stack meaning and depth, like we talked about earlier with like and this entire episode is like full of that, of like, but of like calling back and referencing things that they themselves created and have meaning in there. And so they're like able to like the scene where it pulls out and it has multiple meanings and layers to it, or like that last sequence pushing in is like, is it going to Bob and like is pushing in and is like calling this evil? Sure, but like you're absolutely right. Like look at where they started at this. Like we're seeing all these places where it's just empty city, or not city, town. And like the way the night has changed that, and that there is an evil here as it's still. And then we cut to like the school where it's like, oh, like there is meaning and layers there that you haven't necessarily seen yet, but like you can probably infer, right, about Laura Palmer and the school and stuff, right? And then we're like at the sheriff's department, and we're at the Great Northern, and you're absolutely right, and it packages all of these like themes and meanings and stuff into this little bit that's there, and it's like, it is like saying to a degree, like look at how far we've come, but it's also like we're getting to the end. We're getting to and not a solution, but like, oops, you may have gone too far. Right. Yeah. Great scene. Like I love this part, and it really does affect me every time I watch it. Like it's so good. But it's hard to explain why. Like if I showed that to anybody, imagine if I showed that to you before you'd seen Twin Peaks, and I'm like, this is like really upsetting. You'd be like, well, I get it from like this, that, or the other, but like there's a power to it that like, because it references itself. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Yep. And then we didn't get to see Laura Palmer's face because the video we watched didn't decide to just stay on black screen. Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, so we didn't even get that. Yeah. So having talked through it, how'd you like this episode?
I like this episode a lot. I liked this episode like initially after you asked me how this episode was after we finished it. But now that we've talked through it, I like this episode even more.
Yeah. It's quite good.
It's good.
Yes. So would you agree that it's better than the last one? Okay, that's a cheap shot. That last one we both agree is actually way farther down.
Yeah.
But for the sake of completion, is it better than the last episode we watched?
I do think this is the best episode that I've seen so far. Like by far. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah. That just makes me excited for things that we're going to see coming up as well. It is really good. I mentioned before, I think the humor actually works in this one too, where it's not like detracting from everything. Like
it's
it is
not
working
too much.
in concert. Works. I think that there's some places where people would disagree with that, Wyndham in the horseshoe, whatever. But like it works for me because it's lampshading some dumb shit from earlier, and like a lot of the humor is working. And then there is like the unsettling, like here it comes vibe of the episode that makes it really powerful, because it feels different than like even the episode after this, where like you can feel it ramping up, or like the season 1 episode 7, where it's like the episode before a finale, right? You can feel it ramping up. This feels different than that. This feels like a build, but it's not like a ramping up of like, oh, this, that, or the other is happening. It's like, there's so that's why I rate this as highly as I do, is those two scenes, and then the rest of the humor. It's very good.
Very good.
What is Twin Peaks about for you? Especially in this pocket of episodes is like the Bob show of like here, like, because it's like season 3 episode 1 episode 2 where we get the red room stuff, we get like the doppelgangers and evil, and then we get like the reveal of Leland with Bob inside him and all the things he did, and then Bob returning, like the sequence. Like as we got to this episode, like as we started, I was like, oh, this is actually like, again, if I was planning this out, like this all hits very like it's good.
Twin Peaks is about Bob.
Sorry, not to guide your hand on that, but it's about
my dear Bob.
Yeah.
With the man with the long hair. That's what Twin Peaks is about. For a serious answer, Twin Peaks is like, I'm going to go with what I talked about in this episode. Twin Peaks is about reflections. Like it's reflecting on actions, like past circling back to future kind of deal. Like I think it's that. There's something there. I gotta flesh it out a little bit more.
Sure. Well, like
along those lines.
Even in season 2, episode 9, where like Leland gets his memories back, you could look at that as reflecting on his actions and the deep regret he feels and not being able to fix that. And like we see Coop looking back at what happened to him before while he was still in the Red Room, and we're seeing like the past and that echo back and like this other thing that is in his body that like could be a version of him, right? Like through those reflections, like it is about like how people deal with like the evils that they've done. Sure.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So next episode, what do you think happens? Yes.
Let me see. Where are we at? Season 2. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I don't want to spoil it.
I'll say it's the farthest in the future we've seen. So like that gives you a lot of room to say, yeah.
I think... Oh, I don't know. Because like, oh man, season... Yeah, I don't know how to pinpoint it yet. So...
It's very blank in the future. It's dark.
It's
and
very
you don't have
blank
a light
in the
right now.
future. Like, you know what? I hope I see Norma. I didn't see Norma this episode, so I'm gonna say I hope we see Norma.
There was somebody I was gonna ask you about of like, oh, do you think we see them in the future for something that happens? And I can't remember who it was gonna be. Oh. Damn.
Oh well.
Bummer. Yep. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I think that I guess for the final time I can really ask you, how do you think this season ends? Because like at this point it's like, what do you think happens next sequentially? But like the only thing that you need right now is like the season finale for this episode.
Yeah, the finale. So
I will never ask you that question again unless it like works with where we're at. But like
I think, oh man, it's so up in the air. I think man, because like part of me is like, I know it's probably not a good ending. Like it's a good ending for everyone else but Coop, I feel, judging from what I've seen of season 3 so far. And so I don't think our protagonists prevail. It doesn't feel like they win. Like I do, a part of me thinks that Wyndham Earl dies. I do think he dies, but is he truly gone kind of deal? I do think, I want to say Leo dies. And not that I want him to die, but it's kind of like, oh, put that poor man out of his misery kind of deal. Like, I do think I think he dies via like something happen, like he gets caught in the crossfire thing. And it's not a sad thing, but it's just like, let that man rest now kind of feel. Right. I think Harry, I think Coop gets lost in the Black Lodge. Like he gets pulled in, sacrifices himself instead of Annie. Annie lives. I haven't seen Annie yet in season 3, so I can't definitively say that, but I do think he succeeds in saving Annie. And I think, I haven't seen Harry yet. That's surprising. Harry hasn't showed up yet in season 3. I think Harry... You know what? See, okay, here, now that I'm talking it through, season 2 ends with Harry crying his eyes out because Cooper like died, like in his eyes, like he got pulled into the Black Lodge, and it's just Harry crying that he lost his best boyfriend, and so that's the end of season 2.
I remembered who I was going to ask about.
Oh, okay.
Based off of how things have gone and where they're going, how like Bobby, do you think he's in the show?
I do think Bobby's in the show. I do think he makes a comeback.
And where do you think he's at?
I don't think maybe him and Shelly broke up, because we saw Shelly at the end of that last episode there. So I want to say him and Shelly did try to work it out, but it didn't work out in the end. I do think he becomes, I want to say he becomes a business guy, but we'll see.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think that's where we'll end it. So, as always, remember to save the pine weasel
and brush your teeth.